This assignment will help the student to have better understanding in construction practice through the real industry project. We are choosing Axis Corporation Sdn Bhd to collect the information in detail. Due to restriction of RMO, we decide to use online interview by using Skype with one of the member in the company. In real industry, many parties will involve such as architect, civil, structural engineer, mechanical and electrical engineer, quantity surveyor, developer and contractor. For our group, we will focusing on the role of contractor. Office management is very important in any organization. For this part, we will see Axis Corporation Sdn Bhd manage their office according to their department. Axis Sdn Bhd consists of two departments, which are Administration Department and Project Department. Each of department have their own team to conduct the project. The important position is the chairman of Axis Corporation, Chief Executive Officer, Administrator, which help by the quantity survey, works, and manufacturing. This chart shows the position of the team according to the department. This is the overview of Axis Corporation Sdn Bhd organization chart.
Staff management is very crucial in an organization as it acts as a pillar or backbone of any organization or business. Industrial relations must be in a good condition in order to ensure the efficiency of the company as well as to boost the workforce productivity. A general definition for contractor staff management is to be a business executive of, for that matter, passionate about management, understand the commercial environment in which the work and the value of managing project consistent and efficiently, to ensure that contract companies help both the secure operation of the facility and the company's process safety and personal health success objectives. Back to the basic management in a company or organization, this management function by helping the employees to know their rights and responsibilities, distribute workforce of a company, enterprise or department, and concerning line management and human resources. Move to the next management in an organization, which is staff managers. They are individuals who command a revenue-consuming department. In other words, they are the ones who manage the staff. Their roles are to keep the workforce informed, challenged and satisfied, and cultivate the work culture. Next is human resources. They are the ones who corresponds to any activities happening in a company, corporation, or organization that is used to manage its staffs. Their roles are to mobilize staffs to encourage creativity, efficiency, and share price, plan in terms of staffing, and also outsourcing with other organizations. The final one is line managers. Line manager is an individual who oversees other employees and activities directly when reporting to a senior manager. For instance, the title for these line managers are supervisor, head of department, foreman, and team leader. Their roles is to manage team's targets, responsibilities and goals, and providing reports on productivity and other performance indicators to the line management. This is the general procedure of recruitment in employing a staff. Firstly, the applicant should get license from CIDB. The next stage is the applicant should send resume for job vacancy. Next, human resources of a company will start recruitment, selection, placement, training, and development. And then, interview will be conducted after the selection process. The final stage is deployment and placement of workers assigned based on the criteria position after interview had done.
My name is Shamimi binti Shamsuddin, and I will be presenting about project management for contractor. So construction management, or the short form is CM, is a professional service that provides effective management to the project owners with the project schedule, cost, quality, safety, scope and function. CM is responsible for all project delivery systems such as design build, CM at risk, and public-private partnerships. A capital project is made up of three parties, excluding the CM. The first one is the owner, who commissions the project and either funds the project directly or finances it through a variety of methods. The second one is the architect or the engineer, who is responsible in designing the project. The third one is the general contractor, who supervises daily operation and manage the subcontractors. Basically, the CM tasks are to work with all the parties in order to deliver the project in time, whether in or under budget, and also whether the project reaches the owner's expectation, standard quality, scope and function. Okay, we will move on to the types of construction projects. Different construction sectors carry different types of construction projects. Generally, there can be up to 4 different types of projects, depending on these two sectors in construction, residential and commercial. The 4 projects are, the first one is residential home, building and renovation. The second one is heavy industrial construction. The third one is commercial and institutional construction. The fourth one is engineering construction.
The main objective for every general contractor and subcontractor are to successfully deliver to the owner the specified project safely at the contract price on time, and to achieve a reasonable profit in returns for the performance of its work. For any building or construction project, the contractor is responsible to manage and organize the labor and materials, to ensure that the project is completely correctly, to control all the work in the construction project assigned by the client, to assist the architect, engineers, and clients by advising them only when requested, solely responsible for the construction, supervision, testing and commissioning, completion and maintenance of the maintenance period as provided in the contract, and to ensure that the construction work is complete and free from any failure and defects. The figure above shows the examples of the implementations of construction work in project management provided by Jabatan Kerja Raya. It shows that the contractor is responsible during the construction project in the contract. Figure above shows the examples of flow of activities that happens in JKR design employment. It shows that the contractor only involves during the contract, which is in the construction work. In the quality assurance system, QAS, the document involved covers all the work process, such as planning, implementation, monitoring, and quality control for all areas of work. Project quality management system should contain the basic features for quality management, such as quality planning, quality assurance, and quality control. For the quality control, it is the action taken by the contractors to examine, oversee, and test all the construction and installation process to ensure that it complies with the specifications and quality management plans. The document will be used by the contractors to plan, carry out, observe, and control the construction work to ensure that the quality is achievable. For testing and commissioning, T&C is a process carried out to examine, measure, and test to ensure that the function of a system can operate according to the original design. This record is the basic data needed to monitor the capabilities of a system. The contractor needs to include T&C schedules in the work program for the project. The preparations and running of the equipment are done by the contractor. In the defect liability period, DLP, it is the contractor's responsibility to maintain and repair the defects of the product after the specified construction in the contract. The DLP activity starts from the date of CPCR being issued until the end of the date within the DLP specified period in the contract. There are a few more contractors' responsibilities with other related works, such as applying for the building permits, consulting the workers, providing temporary utilities, securing the safety of property, hiring site surveyors, consulting with the engineer, handling the construction waste, planning the schedule and cash flow, maintaining the data and record of construction work accurately, participates in providing pre-design services such as the estimations and scheduling to sustain the economy for the project, and lastly, the collaboration between the professional is needed to ensure that they meet the deadlines and specified budget that is stated in the contract.
There are many software that are used to streamline communication, simplify document management, and improve efficiency in construction management. Here are some of the common software used. The first one is Smartsheet. Smartsheet is a spreadsheet-inspired work management tool with wide collaboration and communication features. It is easy to create a timeline, track progress, manage documents, and organize the details by using the pre-built construction template. Gantt charts, a chart used to display activities like tasks or events against time, are automatically created and adjusted every time changes have been made. So you can share the most up-to-date timeline with team members or stakeholders. The second one is projectmanager.com. It is a cloud-based project management software that is meant to be used by anyone at anywhere, where it will benefit construction project management where work occurs on site and among multiple teams. This software features some tools that can manage every aspect of construction projects, from construction project scheduling, construction project planning, construction vendor management, construction cost management, and more. Furthermore, it also features an online Gantt charts tool. The third one is Procore. Procore is commonly used by construction management managers for HR, safety, and financial concerns related to construction projects. It holds many construction project management documents, such as employee contact logs, including their certification. It is suggested for medium to large construction companies as the software is too bulky and expensive. The last one is CoConstruct. CoConstruct is a web-based software that is popular and commonly used by contractors, modelers, and design-build companies. It has features such as activity planning, scheduling, estimating, budgeting, and communication. It has the benefit of being easily to customize and has good customer service if you need assistance. Despite that, it is expensive, does not have a free trial, and has limited integration.
2.5 Project Flow. In this subtopic, we'll be discussing on the contract management process flow and also the schedule management. What is contract management? A contract management or a contract administration is the management of contract made with customer, vendor, partner, or even employee. The persons that involved in contract administration required to negotiate, support, and manage a contract. Contract management include negotiation and ensuring compliance with terms and conditions in a contract. These also include in documenting and agreeing to any changes that may occur during the implementation. Contract management is a systematic and efficient process in managing contract creation, execution, and analysis and purpose to maximize the financial and operational performance and also minimize the risk. A complex contract is necessary for construction project in serving goods or services that are highly regulated. Larger contract may require effective use of contract management, which need contract management software to aid the administration among the multiple parties. So the next slide will focus on the 5 steps in contract management process. The first step is a contract request is processed. Proceed with generating the contract requirements. Next, the contract administrator receives the contract approval request form from multiple sources. And then the contract administrator will review and update the contract file database to ensure that the services provided, term liability, and necessary consideration before providing it to the office manager and finance for financial approval. An excellent in project management with an excellent outcome will be achieved through these 4 phases. Phase 1, initiation and planning. Phase 2, execution. Phase 3, monitoring and control. And lastly, Phase 4, closeout. A contract management involves these 9 steps. Firstly, the government customer identify a need for goods or services, in this case, a building. And then, the government develop a request of proposal, or what we call as RFP, and then release it to the industry. Next, the industry, which involve the business development, product manager, and contract manager, will review the solicitation reviews and decide to grab it or not. If yes, the industry develop the proposal and submit it to the government. In this case, it includes the pricing, technical expert, and also the contract manager. Then, the contracting officer and the program manager from the government will review and evaluate multiple proposals and ask for clarification. The 6th step is both parties, which is the industry and government, will negotiate the contract and proceed with government awards the contract and the contracting officer will sign the contract. Both parties will work as a team where the government will work on the execution and contract performance while the industry will provide with all the services. And the last step is upon completion, both parties work to close out the contract.
The figure shows the basic example of a project flow chart that have to be fulfilled by all contractors to get the tender. Starting from received tender documents that the contractor must fill in the form from Form A to GA, which Form A is a letter of certified documents, B. Personal details, C. Financial capabilities, D. Work experiences, E. Technical staff, F. Instruments, G. Current list of work, Form CA is for the bank statement, and last but not least is Form GA, which is Project Supervisor Report. After fulfill all these forms, next is determine the number of tenders to be selected. And then check the sufficiency of compulsory documents, and check for the supporting documents, and check for the tender satisfactory, check completeness of the document, and do the assessment for the contractors. Last but not least is short list of potential contractors. Schedule management. Schedule management is a developing process maintaining and communicating schedules for resource and time. Commonly, a schedule is a timetable for any project or program. This schedule set up a baseline for the bid document. A project schedule may include in the contract document and is used continuously in monitoring the progress of the project and in managing contractors. The schedule would be refined with additional data such as adjusted cost information and resource loading, especially when working with selected contractor or contractors. This schedule would be reviewed and appropriately updated during regular project review meeting. These are the example of project schedule construction. In the first row, it shows the date of where the construction begins, and for the first column shows the list of activity usually started from the construction contract award, followed by the accepting site, stake lines and grade, clearing and site grading, utilities, and lastly is excavation if needed. After the excavation process, the construction process then continues by installing the foundation and backfill, constructing the walls, floors, and roofing, inserting the plumbings and electrical wiring to the drywall, and last but not least is finishing, which is painting. The colorful line indicates process flow by the contractor. As shown in this example, blue lines indicate exterior work that have been done, while pink lines indicate delay of the progress due to raining. This project schedule also record the duration of the construction, cost per day, original estimation, and the variance due to the revised program.
What is procurement? Procurement involves the process of selecting vendors, establish payment terms, strategic vetting, selection, the negotiation of contracts, and actual purchasing of goods. Procurement is concerned with acquiring, procuring all of the goods, services, and work that is vital to an organization. Procurement has few principles. The first one is public accountability. Procurement should obviously reflect public accountability entrusted with the government. And then transparency of procurement regulations, conditions, procedures, and processes need to be clear and transparent to facilitate better understanding among suppliers and contractors. Value for money. Government procurement should yield the best returns for every Malaysian ringgit spent in terms of quality, quantity, timelines, and price. The next principle is open and fair competition process involving government procurement should offer fair and equitable opportunities to all those participating or competing in any procurement. Last one is fair dealing. All acceptable bids will be processed fairly based on current rules, policy, and procedures. Procurement has few principles. The first one is public accountability. Procurement should obviously reflect public accountability entrusted with the government. And then transparency of procurement regulations, conditions, procedures, and processes need to be clear and transparent to facilitate better understanding among suppliers and contractors. A formal agreement between two parties need to be made sure in procurement. Explaining the scope of work needs, pricing and completion of period, explain the responsibilities of both parties, and the last one is explain what action to take if there is a change needed involves scope of work, project duration, and price of breach before it's done by any party. Procurement have few flowing chart that is starting from the input until the output related to the contractor prospect of work. The first stage is input and then going to planning, and then the next step is design till the procurement. After the procurement, there is two steps that involve, that is construction and handover.
So the next chapter will be about the construction stage. It is very helpful to understand each of the construction process. So this chapter will provide a general overview of the construction process from the very first stage until the completion of the project.
What is construction stage? Construction stage is the process of building construction project from the design to the completion of the project. Each stage is very important toward completing the project. There are 6 stages: design, contracts and bid document, bidding, construction, payment and completion. The first stage is concept. Architect, engineer and client will have a meeting. Schematic or preliminary plan is produced to show the graphic view of the project or the connection between spaces. The involved team will discuss and give opinion. The second stage is contract and bid document. This stage will involve with working drawings. The working drawing will be proposed to the potential bidder to win the bid. The next stage is bidding. Bidding is the process of submitting a tender by the contractor to the client as a proposal to conduct or manage a construction project. It enables firms to hire contractor. The following is the sequences to prepare a contract bid. First, the contractor will be provided with a copy of plans, including the specification to estimate the construction budget. The contractor then will review all the plans, specification, limitation and the condition required for the project. The contractor will estimate the financial costs and evaluates all the profit potential of the contract. And then the owner will go through and evaluates all the submitted bids and then award the contract to those who meet the requirements. Lastly, the contract document and specification contain the starting and completion dates, the progress billing procedures, the insurance requirement and other appropriate information. The next stage is construction or fieldwork. Construction is divided into 6 parts, which is building permit, subcontractor, scheduling subcontractor, shop drawing, project submission and change order. For building permit, specification and drawing blueprint must be given to the municipality building department, including the permit application. Second part, subcontractor. The general contractor will pay the subcontractor, and the subcontractor's work can be completed in stages or continuous. Third part is scheduling subcontractor. The contractor will divide the subcontractor's work to ensure the construction will work smoothly and complete on time. The critical path is known as the subcontractor's sequencing order. The fourth part is the shop drawing. Shop drawing is a drawing related to prefabricated components, showing the details on how it should be installed, usually produced by the contractor, supplier, manufacturer or fabricator. The next part is project submission. Every building item must get the architect's approval to ensure that the project is parallel with the technical specification. The last part is change order. A change order is the document to record the changes to the original contract and records additional services provided to the customer. The failure to use the change order may cause the subcontractor to forget about the change of the cost. The next stage is the payment. When a specific work is completed, the money will be paid to the contractor. The architect and engineers can make modification to the construction plans, but any negotiate change to the payment and change order need to be checked. The last stage is the completion. First, as-built plans. It is a plan prepared by the architect and the contractor after a project is completed. The service examiner use this plan when evaluating a report on cost segregation, as this reflect the actual project design. Second, notice of partial completion.
An inspection focuses on the building codes and how secure the building is to be used. If approval is granted, and then the notice of partial completion will be issued. Third, notice of substantial completion. This notice will be given by the local building authorities when the project is 95% completed. Lastly, notice of completion or certificate of occupancy. This will be requested by the contractor or owner when the project is completely done. The project must go through final inspection by local building authorities in order for this notice to be issued.
Contractors are involved in procuring certificates and contracts before, during, and after project construction. In this subtopic, we will discuss on the flow of certificate procurements and what do the certificate entails. The documents involved are 1. Certificate of Practical Completion (CPC), 2. Certification of Completion and Compliances (CCC) and Defect Liability Period, and 3. Certificate of Making Good Defects (CMGD). The flow of the certificate procurement is shown by the diagram above. CPC is a certificate issued upon the satisfaction of the complete physical work of a building. It is issued by the superintendent officer to the contractor after an inspection based on the completion of the project within the given time and budget provided in the contract. Upon the approval of the SO, the CPC is granted to apply for CCC. There are several factors that could cause the rejection for CPC applications. This is due to the construction project is behind schedule and is unable to complete within the time frame. In this situation, there are two main progression that depends on the justification of the project contractor on the project progress, often due to inconsistent weather, late payment release, safety and health issues by the workers, and etc. The late project progress is justified and granted EOT or extension of time by the SO. Within the EOT period, the contractor is responsible to complete the project so that they may be able to apply for CPC. If the contractor's justification is rejected by the client, the contractor is charged with the liquid and ascertained damages (LAD) by the client. LAD entails the contractor to pay an amount of profit per day the client could have made if the project had been completed on time. For the Certificate of Practical Completion (CPC), the contractor's role is to complete the project on time. The Certificate of Completion and Compliance (CCC) is a certificate that allows fit of use and occupancy of a finished project. The CCC replaces the Certificate of Fitness for Occupation (CFO). This is also in conjunction to a government policy that encourages self-regulation by professionals. The application of CCC includes the fulfillment of different forms based on different stages and aspects of a construction and its resources throughout the project. They require signatures or permits from different parties and bodies that govern the aspect, from local authorities and responsible resources organizations like Shabas and TNB. There are 21 different types of forms or borang needed for CCC, dubbed as Form G or Borang G. The forms included are Form G1 Earthwork, Form G2 Setting Out, Form G3 Foundation, Form G4 Structural, Form G5 Internal Cold Water Plumbing, Form G6 Internal Sanitary Plumbing, Form G7 Internal Electrical, Form G8 Firefighting Passive, Form G9 Firefighting Active, Form G10 Mechanical Ventilation, Form G11 Lift or Escalator Installation, Form G12 Building Construction, Form G13 External Water Supply, Form G14 Sewerage Reticulation, Form G15 Sewerage Treatment, Form G16 External Electrical Power Supply, Form G17 Road and Drainage, Form G18 Street Lights, Form G19 main external drainage, Form G20 telecommunication, and finally Form G21 landscape. With that being said, CCC and CPC are complementary certificates that are vital in the execution of a project. For the procurement of CCC, the contractor works with the client developer to provide the necessary documents and details to support the application of CPC and CCC. This includes as-built drawings to the completed project site for further verifications and approvals. In conjunction with the CCC, the defect liability period, or DLP, starts right after the approval of CPC. The period entails any defects, faults, or issues within the finished project to be burdened by the contractor for its repairing and amending forces and costs. Typically, the period lasts for 1 year, 3 months, and 14 days. Within the period of DLP, any and all faults within the constructed project can be reported to the contractor for amendments and repairing progress. As the DLP period ends, the contractor is not liable or responsible for any faults. From this point, the project proceeds to a close with the Certificate of Making Good Defects, CMGD. The Certificate of Making Good Defects, CMGD, is issued by the SO upon satisfaction with the amendments or repairs of defects within a construction project. This happens after the DLP has expired, therefore any liabilities are out of contractor's range and responsibility. At this point, surveyor consultants are responsible for performing a closing account, overseeing any additional and final transactions and contract conditions before closing the project. The contractor is involved in working with the client developer and consultant surveyor for any payments, completion, contract breach, and etc.
Okay, next is a government act that is imposed for contractor in project management. So in managing a construction project, there are certain acts that contractor need to follow, and this act is actually imposed by government to ensure the safety, health, and also the welfare of people on site. So there are 9 main rules and act that imposed by government related to contractor in project management. Okay, the first act, Act 514, Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, OSHA. This act provides a legislative framework for the safety, health, and welfare among all Malaysian workers. The main principle is actually to prevent and protect the workers against hazard and risk connected with their activities on site. Second, Act 113, Street Drainage and Building Act 1974. This act aims to provide a uniform system in local authority area of Malaysia and set out rules to regulate the activities relating to street drainage and building in those areas. In terms of street, the act covers maintenance, repair, extension, and widening the street. The street could be made by either local authorities or private person with the permission from the local authorities. The Act also set out rules on tree, lamps, water piping, and other infrastructure that build under or along the street. Further on, the Act stipulates the local authorities is under the obligation of construct and maintain drain and water course as well as back lane. Furthermore, the Act prescribes rules on building activities in Part 5, which include but not limited on reviewing safety and stability of erection of building, demolition of unauthorized building, penalty for letting out or sale unauthorized building, etc. Third, Act 447, Electricity Supply Act 1990. This act provides the regulation of electricity supply industry, the supply of electricity at a reasonable price, the licensing of any electrical installation, the control of any electrical installation, plant and equipment with respect of matter relating to safety of person and the efficient use of electricity and any purpose connected to it. Next, Act 139, Factory and Machinery Act 1967. The Factory and Machinery Act 1967, or Act 139, is one of Malaysian legislative which is enacted in 1967 as Act Number 64 of 1967 and revised on April 1st, 1974 as Law of Malaysia Act 1939. The Act was gazetted on February 1st, 1970. The principle of this Act is an Act to provide for the control of factories with respect to matter relating to the safety, health, and welfare of persons, the registration and inspection of machinery, and any matters connected to it. Next, Act 520, Malaysian Construction Industry Development Board Act 1994. Act 520 was passed in 1994 to establish the Lembaga Pembangunan Industri Pembinaan Malaysia, also known as the Malaysian Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB, and to provide for its function relating to construction industry and any matters connected. An amendment to the Act was made in 2011. The amendment main focus was construction quality and safety. The amendment encompassed three main areas. First, enhancing construction quality through registration of construction personnel, as well as skill and competency certification. Second, ensuring quality of building material and compliance with standard. Second, ensuring quality of building material and compliance with the standards. Third, contractor and site manager responsibility to ensure safety of building during and after the construction work. Next, Act 127, Environmental Quality Act 1974. An act that relating to the prevention, removal, and control of pollution and any purpose related to it. This act help to prevent the pollution of construction waste. Next, Act 154, Destruction of Disease-Borne Insect Act 1975. An act to provide the destruction, control of disease-bearing insect, inspection and medical treatment of people with disease by insect and any related matters. Next, Act 341, Fire Service Act 1988. Fire Service Act 1988 is an act to make a fundamental arrangement for a viable and effective working of the fire service department for the safety of people and property that from the flame danger and any purpose that related to it. The duty of fire service department including extinguishing, fighting, preventing and controlling fires, protecting life and properties in the event of fire, securing the provision, maintenance and proper regulation of fire escape, and lastly, securing the provisioning of the adequate means of exit in the event of fire from all buildings. Lastly, Uniform Building Bylaw 1984 or UBBL 1984. The Building Bylaw, which was the precursor to the Uniform Building Bylaw 1984, was based on the existing Kuala Lumpur and Singapore legislation and recommendation from the Building Research Station, United Kingdom. The bylaw were compiled under the provision Section 113 in the Street Drainage and Building Act 1974. The objective behind the formulation of Uniform Building Bylaw 1984 is to set a standardized building regulation for the whole of Malaysia and applicable to all local authorities and building professionals. Second, to clarify the line of legal responsibilities for building with clear definition on the principal submitting person. Third, regulate architectural, structural, health and safety, fire protection capability, and constructional requirement of building with a clear reference to the approved standard. And lastly, expedite the processing and building approval and occupational of the building.
In conclusion, contractors hold a lot of responsibilities in order to make sure that progress of a certain project is accomplished according to the plan and timeline. Generally, the contractor is one who is involved in the whole construction process on site. Contractors is responsible for the overall production of the whole construction project. In this assignment, there are good knowledge that is achieved and can be applied on site, such as contractors' responsibility toward project risk, and they need to play the important role to make sure that the project is succeed. This assignment, SBEA3413 Architectural Practice and Management, is a good platform for all architecture students to actively involve and learn on-site practice and have a knowledge of the procedures that have been through for the contractor to get a tender, and lastly for the project to be done. Thank you.